So, surprise! Vogue Patterns just dropped their winter holiday collection. They are calling it the Cool Factor. And as always with the Big Four patterns, I am very eager to take a look, but I'm also cautiously optimistic because of, what they've been able to bring us so far this year. Um, Totally understandable. They've had their limitations. I get that. But as things have been open in New York City, at least partially, and people have been going back to work, I'm curious to see what we've got here. So, the very first pattern we've got is a vest, jacket, belt, and pants. Note the price point. Just going to leave that there for you guys to figure out on your own. Okay, so the coat looks like it has, can we do this? Yeah, it looks like it has a drop shoulder. Hard to tell because that plaid is landing right on her shoulder. I don't think that's a seam though. Drop shoulder and then a sleeve. Patch pockets on this one, some kind of vent here, and then a notched collar. But it looks like they might have drafted it for this kind of like furrier type of fabric. Here's the vest. I mean, it has the drop shoulder with a band. I don't particularly love how that's like sticking away from the arm, but I guess it's supposed to be a layered thing, so maybe that's okay. But again, with the notch collar, it looks like everything else is the same on this one except for the sleeve and possibly the length. Yeah, the length is definitely different. Notice also they were able to bring in a few different models, so that's good. Yeah, that's the same one that, yeah, she had on. So let me see the back. There we go. Thank you. So the back, oh, is that a yoke? I think so. Maybe, maybe not. Nothing else to see there, I don't guess. It's not a yoke. It's actually a dart. There's a dart there. Okay. All right. Well, let's see if the line drawings bring us anything. Oh, it's pants too. I forgot. We'll have to go back and look at those. But yeah, the line drawing is really not jumping out at me, especially the short version looks like a diner waitress situation. They both just have this single button. I mean, the darts are a nice detail, but still just a little bit basic, and that's okay. Jackets like this, especially if you made it out of like a standout fabric, like some kind of like wool cashmere blend or something like that, I think could be incredible. Not all patterns have to be like the most intricate couture thing. Just some of them I have more to say about some of them than others. But the pants are, and I'm gonna say just an elasticated waist pant, which we've seen 1,000 times at this point. Which I'm kind of like, I appreciate them including stuff like that. It almost feels like a freebie, so I can't complain totally, but at the same time, it's like why bother? I don't know. Okay, and so this is the back cover. Mrs. Loose Fitting lined jacket, lined, and vest has self belt thread carriers. They mean belt carriers. Sleeve and length variations. Pants have semi-fitted hip, elastic waist, side seam pockets, stitched hems. Fabrics are medium weight wool, gabardine, crepe. And again, I think this depends on which version, if you're making the jacket or the vest. And then some interfacing. Okay. And then 8 to 16, and then 16 to 24 on the size range, which I think is pretty standard for Vogue. Here's your fabric requirements, some notions that you need, and then finished garment measurements are only the widths. And, well, the width of the leg and then the lengths. So not a lot of information there. And then the line art. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. Like I said, if you're into making like authentic winter coats in like a really, really super, super nice fabric, that one could be amazing. All right, this one's giving me a bit of a period type of vibe. Not that period because it's red, but like a period, like an era, like a time period. Oh my gosh. Oh my word. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the pictures. So it has, I will say this detail here of like the top stitching, I was just on my trip and there's some woman sitting like a couple rows ahead of me on the airplane had a jacket made out of kind of like, I don't know, it was almost like a pilled, but on purpose, like a wool that was like intentionally pilled or something. But all of her seams, every single one of them had this like extra deep top stitching where it was set away from the seam a lot. So this is kind of reminding me of that. Hers had actually 2 rows of stitching. So that was pretty cool. Obviously something would be super easy to do to this pattern, but any others as well. It does have this really beautiful seaming. I'll give them that. It goes up into the hip like this, and then it looks like we've got another bit of seaming that comes up like a princess seam. Maybe they're all one. I'll have to look at the line drawing to see how this is constructed, but it's a 2-piece sleeve, 3 buttons. I'm assuming these are welt pockets underneath these flaps, and then this really interesting cuff. You also got a very significant shoulder pad situation happening here. I would even argue that the shoulders are intended to extend beyond your natural shoulder, possibly. But yeah, like a fit and flare jacket. Here it is in a plaid. Super cute styling. A little bit hard to see what's going on, but look at that shoulder again. Definitely extending past her shoulder. And if it were me, because I just can't resist a ruffle, I'd be putting ruffles here. I'd put a ruffle here. I'd put a ruffle around the collar if I could. Doesn't this just scream like give me a ruffle or some kind of trim or something? There's the same first picture. Another little pose. Oh, look at the back, you guys. Doesn't this feel very like a throwback, vintage-y? Maybe even a little bit of a nod to the Victorian, but you can see the collar and then a center back seam, and then we've got the princess seams, and we've also got this little waist seam here. So this is all doing all the work to cinch in this waist. Really beautiful. And then these act as sort of like godets, where the width of the skirt is kind of coming from this volume here. Really beautiful. So when you're looking for a coating, you're going to want to make sure it does have some drape to it. The length of this one feels different, right? I'll confirm that in the line drawings. Interesting that they gave her this version of the jacket, the prominent position. I would think they would have done this one just because it's, I don't know, I like it better, I guess. So yeah, I think we have different lengths here. And then I still can't totally tell the seaming. Yeah, okay, so it does go up over the hip, and then the princess seam for the bodice comes up through here. And then is this yet another seam? Possibly. And then you can see the seam in the collar. It's a great coat. I mean, you will definitely stand out in something like this. You could also like just forego the coating altogether. I'll have to make pictures and do it out of like a brocade. You could just like kind of go all in on the whole idea of it being a throwback vintage type of piece, and do something very period specific to that time frame. I imagine that coat in a denim would be really cool, or in like a almost like a nylon like raincoat type of situation would be, I don't know, you could probably make that out of just about anything. Okay. Mrs. Fitted lined coat has extended shoulders. Okay. Shoulder pads, 2-piece sleeves with bias cuffs, decorative flaps and side seam pockets and stitched hems. Medium weight woolens, gabardine, and then there's the denim suggestion. But again, I really do think you could make it out of a bunch of different fabrics. I would just, more so than the weight of the fabric, I would be concerned about the drape. If you did it out of something that would technically be considered lightweight for a jacket, you might even consider leaving the buttons off and having it act more like a duster. This one's very inspiring to me. Lots of different visions are like coming to my mind. Okay, so here are the sizes 8 to 16 and then 16 to 24. Your fabric requirements. I mean, it's a lot. 4¼ yards up to 4 3/8, depending on your size. I mean, almost 5 yards for the longer version. So it's an investment, but man, it would look really beautiful, right? Okay, 1 inch shoulder pads. I told you they were massive. 1 inch flat button and 3 1 inch buttons. Oh, that must be for the inside. And then finished garment measurements. I have no idea what these apply to. Is that the hem, I'm guessing? The hem width? No idea. Maybe that's the bust. Maybe that's the hip. Who knows? Just when I think that when they give us the length garment measurements, how unuseful or useless those are, this has got to be about the only thing that would be more useless, less useful than that. Okay. Yeah, she's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Good one. Good one, good one. All right, now we've got another little like coat shawl thing. Cape, okay, a cape. Now, I've never really been a huge fan of capes personally. I just find them to be incredibly impractical and they take up so much fabric for something that I don't get it totally. You know what I mean? But this one looks like it has possibly some hook and eye closures through here, and then this like very deep belt with 2 buttons. You have probably bias bound hems here, and then a like a seam on top of your arm, and then that seam is what creates kind of like the cape effect. I mean, they are cute. I don't think that they aren't cute. I just can't imagine myself wearing that. A, I think it'd be hard to drive. B, where do you put your purse? You can't put it over your shoulder. And I don't like just carrying it in my hand. You know, if I were going to like an event or something, like I don't know, like a horse race or like a outdoor, I don't even know if I'd want to eat in that. Maybe I could consider something like this, but just in regular life, like, I just don't know how practical that is. It is super cute though. That's beautiful. Drape in the back. Looks like there's just a center back seam. Is this a seam? Yeah. It does look like that's a seam, doesn't it? But hard to tell. Yeah, I think that's the seam that creates the well, no, because and there's also little pockets here. I missed that the first time. I don't really know how it works. They look like seams, but maybe not. Those are definitely seams. Oh, I think what's happening is I think the front looks a lot like this, except it has an additional seam that goes down like this, and that is what creates. So it's like the front has 2 pieces, a center front and a side front. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, I keep doing that. And then here is the back cover. All right. Mrs. Unlined capes have hook and eye closure, narrow hems, front pockets, belt with button closure, and length variations, medium weight wool, gabardine, or fleece. I don't know about that. It'd just be like a big, giant, cuddly blanket, which I guess is fine. Sounds comfortable, but not very stylish, in my opinion. All right, the sizes are alphanumeric. So we've got extra small to medium and then large to 2X. And then your fabric requirements are up there. Little bit of lining. I think this is just for the pocket bag. And then you need 2 buttons for your belt and 7 hook and eye closures. And then these are the back length measurements. That must be what the other ones are, and they just left off this line here. So length is really not that helpful for us when we're buying patterns. Please listen. Please watch this video and start putting in some widths so we know which one to buy without tearing up the patterns in the store. Or heaven forbid, if you're not shopping in the stores, I wouldn't know what size to buy on some of those. I mean, I'm sure they have their size charts here, but what about finished garment measurements? Sometimes I would size down based on finished garment measurements. And that might put me in the smaller category. Anyways, we have this duster. A little just stand collar, I think. Like a baby drop shoulder, wide sleeve, simple front with just little buttons all the way down. Oh, look at that pattern placement. Impressive. What is with the collar? Oh, there's a little ruffle all around the collar. So cute. I think that's a thread. I love it. Oh, the back is interesting. It has this little like layered effect. Really pretty. Almost looks like a jacket and a skirt from the back. Cool. This one's kind of neat. It's very interesting, especially because I don't think that I mean, she has hers buttoned up, but I don't know that I would ever do that. It's a Sandra Bettina pattern too, which isn't surprising at all considering the kind of like funky asymmetrical type stuff going on. But it still feels a little bit youthful to me. Well, I mean, the line drawings don't look great. This is hardcore, like Catholic priest. And then this is just, oh, I don't know, really weird. Like, what is this piece? What is this? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Does your armpit hang out of it? Is this your arm goes in here and then this is part of your arm shows or something? That's not a seam, is it? I don't know. What? Now I need to go look. I can't even, the pictures aren't even good enough to tell. Does it act a little bit like a cape? You can kind of see something here, but still not. I don't know what that is on the line drawing. No clue. If you have an idea, leave it in the comments section. But it's also got these little pockets that I missed. Yeah, this one is interesting. I feel like it's a little bit different. And considering, I live in North Carolina, we've got sort of like, we experience all the seasons here. So this would be a great little layering piece, I think. Let's look at I did it again. Let's look at the fabric, the back of the envelope. Mrs. Loose Fitting Duster has stand collar with ruffled trim, button front, set-in sleeves, side front pockets, and stitched hems. Fabrics. Wool challis. That's very specific. I've never even seen that before. Wool crepe I've definitely seen. That would be beautiful. Linen blends also. Linen blends, I'm imagining. Yeah, maybe a little less linen than whatever it's blended with. And nylon fusible knit interfacing, no diagonals. And then Sandra Bettina does a different kind of sizing. So it's A to J. So you'd have to check the sizing chart to figure out where you are on that, because also we only get the finished length. So you'd go to this size chart here and it would tell you more about it. I don't know. I don't hate it. I think it could be really, really cool, especially I think fabrication is paramount. It has to be drapey. Must. Absolute must. So it's like a drapey fabric that's been blended with something that's a little bit warm and it's like drapey but heavy. Yeah. A heavy weight draped fabric. Does that make sense? you're not going to be able to like go to the fabric store and say, hey, that's what I'm looking for. But in your mind, as you're picturing fabrics, picture them that are drapey, but a little bit on the heavyweight side. And the heavyweight suggestion is just because it's a winter released in the winter. You could absolutely make that out of rayon challis in the spring and summer. 1000%. Okay, look at this one. I'm glad they chose this model for this one. This suits her really well. Okay, so we have got a surplus bodice, crossover in the front, a dramatic sleeve. The sleeve, it lives on, you guys. These dramatic sleeves are not going anywhere. And now the dramatic sleeve, whereas they, for the past few years, have kind of just been going into like a little itty bitty elastic situation. Now it's the sleeve and the cuff together is really what's making the statement. Again, a little bit of a nod, like back to the Victorian, back to those, those times in the past that they're pulling this from. But it's a beautiful sleeve. Then you've got this like belt sash situation, and then a cross or like a wrap skirt. But you can see that they're cut on different, even this is cut different. So you'd pay attention to your grain lines in order to achieve that. Oh, here's the back. So the back just has a center back seam all the way down. It does look a little bit long-waisted for her. Okay, yeah, here's the line drawing. So bias bound. Now it looks like the belt is a part of the dress, which actually makes it even cooler to think that, yeah, it is. You can totally see now. This is sewn in like a waistband and acts as one piece, but looks like separate pieces. I quite like that. And then look at all these little buttons with the loops. So this is not going to be one of those like make it in a day kind of patterns. Is that what you're telling me? And we've got a couple, like a dart here, and then a couple like release darts, it looks like, for the bodice. And then even in the back, there's one. So the back is supposed to be a little bit looser up here and then nipped in the waist. Just a gathered skirt. All right, Mrs. Lined wrap dress. Close fitting through the bust. All right. Has contrast binding, waistband and ties, bishop sleeves ending in cuffs with button and loop closure. Dress contrast 1, chiffon, georgette, voile. Contrast 2 is satin. Oh, the contrast must be the belt. And then there's your lining fabrics. So 8 to 16 and then 16 to 24. I love when patterns have this little overlap. I, for the life of me, cannot rationally think of a reason why they just can't come up with one size. Like, why? I get alphanumeric and then the number system. That's fine. But how come some of their numbers stop at 14? I don't know why we can't just do that across the board. Whatever it is, just pick one. You know what I mean? Like, of course I prefer this one, but I don't know why they're different. Okay, so here's your yardage. Kind of a lot. The sleeve, I bet, is the most. There's batting. I think that's for the belt. That's interesting. Then you need 14 little bitty buttons for your cuffs. And then finished length measurements. Chiffon, georgette, and voile is what they're recommending. I don't know about all that. I mean, it is lined. I'd like to know what they used on this. This feels more like cotton to me. Some kind of like cotton blend or something. It feels more structured. But maybe not. All right. Next up, we have this cutie little number. Special occasion dress. Again, big sleeve, big cuff. This one has playing around with shears and not scissors, but sheer fabrics. And then it's got this square neckline, which is really, really cool. Bound mesh, I guess. And then it looks like it's got 2 layers, but I can't tell if both layers are the same width, almost like interlined. Cute little look with the thigh highs. Here's the back. We've just got a little keyhole opening. The line drawing of this is going to look really good, I bet. It seems a little bit crazy because of all the different sheer fabrics and then the squiggly bits. Zandra Rhodes is just, that's what she does. She loves little squiggles, and almost all of her makes that end up on the cover have some kind of like squiggly situation happening somewhere. But yeah, look how cute this is. I am getting nightgown vibes. I know that you're probably seeing that too, but imagine it in like something not nightgowny, but a little more simpler than what Zandra did. Like if it were I don't know, some kind of like cotton blend with stripes, a seersucker, chambray, even a solid chambray. Imagine it's something like that, where the structure of it sends it away from your body like it should. And then on the inset, you don't have to do a separate fabric here. You could just do the same fabric you've been doing and turn it so the stripes go a different way. You could do a different color. You could do sheer like they did. Leather maybe. I don't know. Depends on what else you've got going on. But this is very cool. This is very on trend. This is very right now. Very, very right now. Okay, Mrs. Loose Fitting, partially lined dress has neckline finished with binding, bishop sleeves ending in cuff with button and loop closure, baby hem. Fabrics, chiffon, georgette, gauze, and challis. And I think they're going lightweight, drapey, because I think that I guess it's the skirt. I think this portion is what is lined. This is the partially lined part, unlined, and I think this little thing is all that's lined. Also, can I point out how cute it would be if you just left off the sleeves and this part and just had a little square neckline dress? That could be cute too. Making sure that it, stayed up. Anyways, I'm digressing again. So yeah, that's the only reason I can think that they're suggesting these, but you obviously do not have to do that. You don't have to line it if you don't want to. I mean, if it's a sheer fabric, then yes, you want to line it so you can't see all your, parts. You don't have to. Okay, 8 to 16 and then 16 to 24 again. Here is our fabric requirements. So you've got 3 1/4 up to 3 1/4 yards. And then also an additional 5/8 of the contrast fabric. And then 2 yards of lining as well. And then just a bunch of useless garment measurements. I don't know. I feel like we could play around with this and we could make it really, really cute. I don't hate the sheer fabric that they did it with. The idea of this, with a sheer sleeve is cute. But I think you could make it a little less special and a little bit more everyday just by switching up the fabric. Imagine it in like an eyelet. That would be cool. And you'd still have to line that. But an eyelet would be fun. Okay, now we've got, a jacket, belt, skirt, and pants. I don't know why the image is covering all this. Okay, so this is very clearly a Chanel inspired. It's like Chanel and North Face had a baby. This is what it would look like. It is a Chanel puffer jacket, you guys. That is something else. I actually think people are really going to like this. I really do think people are going to like it. I don't not like it. I don't like how the lines aren't matched up. That's one thing I don't like. I just don't know how much I would really wear something like this. Let's see if they made it in any other ways. And is this our skirt that we're getting? A midi pleated skirt. Still, I mean, I wasn't totally aware that the whole like collegiate varsity thing was still happening, but I guess maybe it is. Okay, here's another version. She seems to like it. I like looking at their faces. Um, that's really not helping, is it? Oh, man. In my mind, I was like, okay, so this one looks very much like a varsity cardigan, right? So, but maybe if we didn't put all the buttons everywhere and we didn't use these colors, maybe it would look a little bit better or at least just different. But this is worse to me. I like the other one better. And I don't really even like the other one a lot. So what does that say for this one? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, here's our skirt. Elastic waist with, I don't even know what is happening. What is that in the bottom? And then you've got all these pleats. And then that's it. Maybe it's the length. Maybe that's it. Maybe I don't like how long it is. And then for this one, it has a decent length in terms of proportion anyways, but maybe I don't like the belt. Oh, I don't know. Would be comfy on your tush. A little padding. Oh, they're gonna not show us those pants. Are you serious? Oh, cheater, cheater. You know why they're not showing us those pants? Something is very wrong up in here. Something from her mid-thigh up is not good. That's all. That's what I'm left to believe. Maybe that's not true, but when you omit something like that, my mind immediately goes to the worst thing. Okay, so here are our line drawings. Oh, I want to. Like, I get the idea. You know what I mean? But again, I do think there are a lot of people that are going to make these, and more power to them. I just don't know if it's worth my time. All right, let's see the line drawing on these pants. Oh, yeah. I'm convinced now something's wrong up here because I assumed that they were just the elastic like this. But no. They went on and put in a fly and a waistband and a button and the whole nine. So yeah, they're definitely hiding something from us. What are you hiding? Tell us. Be honest. Okay, Mrs. Loose Fitting Jacket has 2-piece sleeves, contrast bands, welt trim, side seam pockets, loose fitting pull-on skirt, has pressed pleats, semi-fitted cropped pants have mock fly front. So how do you get into them then? A belt. Let's go back. If it's a mock fly, how do you get in? There's no zipper. Maybe that's a error. I'm going to go with it. That's an error. Okay, fabrics for the jacket. Nylon, ripstop, and waterproof jackets. And then for C and D, the pants and skirt. Wool flannel, medium weight wool blends. And then for the backing of your jacket, batiste. And then your jacket is also lined. So this is what creates like the padding, for lack of a better word. And then you've got lining fabric or no big deal, just a jacquard satin. Okay, and then sizes 8 to 16, 16 to 24. Here's all your fabric. Requirements, dang, 2 5/8 of a yard for that skirt. And then buttons. Elastic for the skirt. 1 button and 1 7-inch zipper for the pants. That's not a mock fly then. That's an actual fly. Right? Is it something else that makes it a fly that I'm missing? Let me know. Okay. These are going to fly off the shelves. These are great. Love it. High-waisted. Please tell me this shirt is going to be in the collection somewhere. I love this shirt. Okay, so high-waisted. It looks like they use the little like hook and bar. Some kind of pleat situation. Wide leg, drapey, dreamy. Here's a, oh, how did that happen? Here is a culotte version. It looks like there's actually 2 really big knife pleats. Cute. Excellent. Show me the back. Thank you. Oh, sorry that keeps happening. My little keypad is extra sensitive. My little finger pad. Okay, so yeah, just more pleats in the back. So pretty roomy across the hip and then really fitted in the waist. So really ideal for those of us that are pear-shaped. Little funkiness happening in the pants crotch curve. Maybe need to take some more out of that and make it a little, what would be the word? Like a little bit more, I can't think of the word, like just curve. I don't want to say, what's the term everyone? Scoop it out. I don't want to say that. That's not correct. But something's not right with the curve because it's giving her a wedgie. Those are cute though. I think, like I said, those are going to do really well. Kind of been there, done that, seen it a couple times, but I mean, maybe not. Those deep, deep pleats are newish. They feel fresher to me. Okay. That doesn't look like that shirt's going to be part of the collection, which is a bummer. But we've got this Mrs. jacket. Look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. If you're into like the whole tailored, clean, minimalist look, this is for you. So we have a simple neckline, kind of a little itty bitty grown on a little bit. Then we've got this really deep shoulder dart. You've got a really beautiful shoulder line with a, pronounced shoulder pad. Falls straight down from the arm, beautifully tailored 2-piece sleeve. Then you've got this princess seam that goes into this really wide and long welt pocket, and then just a single little button here. They could have done a minor adjustment to get these to cross over better on the center front, but other than that, this is pretty much spot on fit. Super cute. I think even the sleeve might be a little bit flared, maybe. Oh, Jesus. Beautiful back, center back seam. We've got more, these are neckline darts. And then there's possibly, little kick pleats here, or vents. One here with, there's a princess seam here with a little pleat. And then that's what you see here also. Really beautiful. Oh, it's Claire Schaefer. That makes sense. This is one of those that you are going to spend weeks and weeks on. The interior of this, it will shock you when we go to look at the notions, all the different things that you would need to execute this, but you get an exceptionally well done blazer jacket when you're done. Super cute. Okay. Mrs. Fitted Line Jacket has raised neckline, extended shoulders, shoulder pads, 2-piece sleeves, sleeve head, side panels with pockets and back vents. So you've got shoulder pads and a sleeve head. Fabric, men's suiting, wool crepe or brocade. You need hair canvas for your interfacing, and then you also need some kind of lining. Of course, she's recommending China silk or charmeuse because that makes it more custom, more fancy. 8 to 16 and 16 to 24 on the size range. You need 2 yards of sew-in interfacing. Just one button, your 1/2-inch shoulder pads, and also some stay tape. So I imagine she's having you hand baste in the hair canvas, hand basting that to the main fabric, and then sewing the lining, and then doing all this extra stuff to get those beautiful sleeves. So it's kind of like an intro to couture. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you'd never done any of those techniques before, this would be a good way to kind of dip your toe in the water, because it's not a super complicated design. It's not super difficult to fit. So you could really just focus on the finishes and the actual sewing. Okay, next up, this is going to be our fabrication fail for this collection. I mean, my mind is going to some kind of water animal. I'm not really sure which one, but I'm just getting like seal, walrus, something in that area. With this shiny fabric, this drop shoulder with the, puffy sleeve. Yeah, something else. But it also has a hidden band. I'm trying to find the beautiful parts. This hidden button band is really nice. The collar is really beautiful, stands up really nice. You've got these top stitch princess seams. You've even got like an actual waist seam here into a curved shirt tail hem that's high-low. Here is their attempt at it being more casual, but I think she missed her subway ride to the circus, where she is a performer juggling something. Oh man. That is a collar though. That is a statement collar. It's very big. And I don't know what the rules are, quote unquote rules are with collars, and if you're petite, should you not go super big? I don't know in terms of like proportion, I don't remember what the collar rules are, but something to keep in mind that this one has a very large one. Pulled away from further away, and the way they styled it with these like skinny pants and these brogues, like, I mean, I think it's just the shiny fabric. If it weren't shiny, maybe. And maybe it's just the lighting. Like, the lighting in a studio is very unnatural lighting, so maybe the shinier fabrics just don't read very well. But I mean, this with the big collar and the drop shoulder and all this ruffle here gives her, this is so wide, okay? Not that that's a problem. Like, having broad shoulders and a tiny waist is great when you can balance it with a fuller hip, which is why fit and flare dresses do wonders for proportion. But this is just wide and short. It just stops. So I think something's off. Even the sleeve coming down and just stopping like that makes it feel really out of balance. Like, she looks top heavy, and I'm certain she's not, based on the other pictures we have seen of her. We do have a back yoke. We have a center back seam and some fun gathers. Yeah. I mean, better in the shirting. The drape and all of that is a lot better in the shirting. But I just don't think the shape that it creates is very pretty. This one's better because it's longer. Maybe the sleeves aren't long enough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is gonna be a pass for me. What is that? That doesn't look very pretty at all. Okay. Mrs. Close fitting shirt has concealed button closure, collar and collar band, button cuffs with pleat opening, top stitching, length variations, and narrow hems. Cotton shirting, poplin, and linen blends. And then this is some interfacing for the collar, I presume. 8 to 16, 16 to 24. Here are your fabric requirements, not too much. 10 buttons, and then your useless garment measurements. Yeah, that's going to be a no for me. Okay, where are we? Now we've got, this has potential. A little blouse. Where did I just see? Oh, Queen's Gambit. The Simplicity posted on their Instagram a like a picture of a screenshot from the program and then a pattern of theirs, and it had a big button like this. And I feel like this ruffly collar thing again, nodding to Victorian era again. This one with the little ruffles here. I must have been like sensing the ruffle vibe earlier on in this first impression, because remember that one pattern I was like, we should add ruffles everywhere, and now look, ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. They're everywhere. But this is got a pussy bow blouse or a tie, and then a high collar, and then this bib situation. And then the sleeve has gathers here, has gathers down at the cuff. Oh, I've seen this fabric before. That's cool. Stylemaker Fabric sells this fabric. That's so cool. I'll have to send this to them. But this is it without any of the embellishment. No bow, no ruffles anywhere, but everything else is the same. You do have this seam here, if you can see it, but it's not drawn to, like, your attention doesn't really go to it that much. But because there's an actual seam there, you could do some fun things with that. You know, you could put some kind of trim inside, a piping, something along those lines. Do y'all think they just reuse this same sleeve every single time? This collection, I kind of feel like it's the same sleeve over and over again. It is a very trendy sleeve, but I feel like that's kind of the only sleeve we've seen. There's the back, just a yoke. Nothing too funny. Oh, what is this? It's like a belt loop for your, oh, but it's detachable. I bet that bow comes off. Let's read all about that. Yep, here's our bow. Imagine this lengthened to a dress. That would be really cute too. I like this. I like this. Y'all might think I'm crazy. I don't know. I like it. I think in just a plain white shirting, it would be exceptional and comfortable because there's no waistband. I'd leave the bow off. Like the less drapey the fabric, the less inclined I would be to use this bow, or to use this sashy bow thing. But Mrs. Loose fitting blouse has stand collar, extended shoulders, bib front, long sleeve gathered into button cuffs, shaped hem with narrow hems. A has a scarf ruffle detail, which is the bow. Fabrics, crepe de chine, rayon challis, or cotton shirting. And then your fabric requirements and a little bit of interfacing and 10 buttons. Yes, I like it. All right, is this our last one? Oh, it's our last one. But it looks like we're going to go out with a bang. This is another top. Kind of a lot going on here. Okay, so we've got an asymmetrical, and it's hard to tell from this picture. Let's find one that's a little bit better. An asymmetrical neck opening that is like a notched collar, but instead of opening straight down the center front, it kind of goes to the side. And then again, you have this top stitching detail into what could possibly go into figure skater vibes. But I think that they have resolved that pretty well with the length and fabrication. But you get this little like peaked little seam here, and then you get your asymmetrical hem with various slits, and then your sleeve looks like a pretty standard sleeve. Now, is this knit or woven, I wonder? I'm thinking this might be a stable knit pattern. Ooh, look at the back, really beautiful. Not quite sure what happened here. Y'all think that's intentional? Either way, it also looks like they went to pull out some threads and then didn't get all their previous seam threads ripped out. Anyways, center back seam, and then these really beautiful princess seams. I don't know what's happening here, to be honest. And because there's no closure here, I think this might be a knit. Marcy Tilton. Oh, I see. It has one of those seams on each side. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. A little bit more intentional that way. I think this is cool. Oh, Lord. Okay, Mrs. Semi-fitted pullover peplum top with asymmetrical seaming, raised notch collar, moderate stretch knits with 35% on the cross grain. So, not a ton of stretch. Ponte, double knit, French terry, stable fleece, sweatshirt knits, medium weight stretch wovens like stretch sateen, cotton sateen. Oh wait, here's that here. I don't know what other medium weight stretch wovens would be. Like a twill? Like a stretch twill? Well, no, here's stretch denim. Stretch brocade. I never even heard of that, but okay. Cool. And then, yeah, just a couple yards. Not bad. And then that's not really that helpful. Oh my goodness, you guys. There's actually some decent big four patterns, I think. I hope you guys agree with me. I hope it's not just like fatigue, like bad pattern fatigue, so that I am like disillusioned. You know what I mean? Like they've been so bad all year long that I'm just clinging to anything remotely cute and calling it awesome, even though it's not that awesome. Please don't tell me that that's what I'm doing. Please tell me you found some redeeming qualities of some of the patterns too. Please let me know in the comment section below which ones you liked, which ones you will be picking up. I know a lot of us are, I don't know, many of us that are going to pay $22 plus shipping, $25 plus shipping for any of these. So we'll be waiting for a sale. But what's on your wish list? Let me know. But that is going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.